name is Arman Zograbian, and I'm the CEO and Chief Product Officer of Neuronet. We work across the global markets under different brands, which is in particular Zen.ai. That's also the part of the Neuronet group. And we create digital humans and digital twins, which I would like to demonstrate to you what we do. We also work in Turkey, by the way, since 2021 or beginning of 2022, mostly in the pilot phases, but lately things have been developing more faster and better, and we're now on the eve of some commercial launches. So what we do, our core proposition is automation of inbound and outbound communication by means of implementing conversational AI, which is, in our case, we're talking about human-like virtual agents, digital twins, digital humans, mobile or web personal assistants. And the key word here is human-like. Just a couple of slides later, I will disclose in details what I mean by human-like, but effectively, human-like, in 2 words, is something that only 1 out of 100 customers or subscribers would figure out that he or she is speaking with artificial intelligence. We've been doing this since 2019, and in the early days, mostly in Russia, and then started doing operations in Asia Pacific, in Vietnam, Indonesia, in Middle East, in Saudi, in Kuwait, in Egypt, and also the West Coast in US. We got several customers in the United States. But our main focus initially was Eastern Europe and Russia, where we have developed all our bespoke solutions and services specifically for inbound and outbound. Inbound, when you are calling to the call center, when you are calling and speaking with the robot, and outbound, when robot is calling you. Like industries I've been working with are telcos predominantly because they have huge contact centers and enormous traffic, and they are usually the customers who got key issues and challenges in terms of scalability, in terms of managing their own capacity. So we integrate this inbound, outbound for telcos, retail e-com, banks, insurance, financial organizations, as they're also about big contact centers, etc., and transport logistics, B2G, governmental services, and service companies. In terms of scenarios, it can be any and all scenario. Anything that human being is involved in terms of claim management, selling additional services, or running an NPS, Net Promoter Score survey, or any kind of activations, you name it, anything that human being is doing in contact center or call center, we do the same, but we do it better. In simple terms, I'll tell you how and why we do it better. But before going further, let me share with you 2 actual samples in Turkish. I've just specifically chosen some Turkish samples that we've implemented in Turkey. One is the telemarketing sample. Unfortunately, my Turkish is very poor, so I cannot tell you the outcome of the conversation. So I would be happy if someone at the end of a presentation would tell me, was the deal done or not? So this is a telemarketing sample when a robot is calling to a customer, which is one of the outbound scenarios.
Merhaba, adım sizi İren arıyorum. Görüşmelerimiz kalite standartları gereği kayıt altına alınmaktadır. Uygunsanız size birkaç soru sormak istiyorum.
Evet, uygunum. Buyurun.
Teşekkürler. Size güzel bir teklifimiz var. X Mobil'i uzun süredir kullandığınız için yeni paketimizde size özel indirim sunuyoruz. Size tamamen sınırsız internet veriyoruz. Ayrıca dakika paketinizi de artırıyoruz. Sınırsız internet ve Türkiye'de her yöne 1000 dakika, %30'luk kişisel indiriminiz aylık sadece 70 lira.
Güzelmiş. Olabilir.
Yeni paketi denemeniz için size %30 indirimle sunuyoruz. Beğenirseniz bu paketle devam edebilir. Eğer beğenmezseniz eski paketinize geri dönebilirsiniz. Ayrıca bitmeyen dakikalarınızı bir sonraki aya aktarabilirsiniz. Güzel bir indiriminiz varken bu fırsatı size sunalım. Ne dersiniz?
Evet. Öyle ama ne kadar ödemem gerekecek?
Bakın, şu anda tarifenizde limitler var. Bu yüzden paketiniz çok daha pahalıya geliyor. Şimdi size o kadar indirimli bir paket sunuyoruz ki denediğinizde çok daha fazla avantaj elde edeceksiniz. Bu kadar iyi şartlarınız varken deneyin, olur mu?
Ama tam olarak ne kadar ödenecek?
Paketimiz aylık 100 liradan ücretlendiriliyor. Ancak size ilk ay için %30 indirim yapıyoruz. Böylece 100 lira yerine sadece 70 lira ödeyeceksiniz. Ayrıca sınırsız internet ve her yöne 1000 dakika aramayla çok daha fazla seçeneğe sahip olacaksınız. Sizin için bu kadar iyi olan bir indirimi kullanalım.
Evet, güzelmiş. Tamam, deneyebiliriz.
Size %30 indirimli bir paket sundum. Paketin otomatik olarak etkinleştirilmesi için bakiyenizde en az 70 lira olması gerekir. Paketiniz başarıyla etkinleştirildiğinde bir SMS bildirimi alacaksınız. Yeni paketinizin keyfini çıkarın. Her şey gönlünüzce olsun. Güle güle.
Teşekkürler.
So that was the actual sample of telemarketing. So the robot was selling, but the conversation lasted roughly 2 minutes. And this is the average conversation. There are cases, especially when it comes to telemarketing, that the pitch, the sales is running 5, 6, 7 minutes. And that brings us to the most important point. What makes us different and what makes our technology unique? When I say human-like, what do I mean by that? Human-like, first and foremost, is an ability and a capability to create, while speaking with your counterpart, a clear feeling that I hear you and I understand you. Even if I have to acknowledge in the very beginning of conversation, in certain markets, by the way, it's required in US in particular, when I say, hello, this is Robert calling you, but may I have your attention, please, for instance. Even though in such cases, when I have to admit prior to start the conversation that I'm a robot, even in these cases, when I'm able to provide this feeling to my counterpart that I hear and understand you, I manage all the expectations of my customer. And this is the human likeness, meaning you can interrupt me and I can interrupt you, just like any human being during the conversation. So I'm not interested in this particular offer. And if I hear that, my natural language understanding, our proprietary model, which is, by the way, is multi-intent, which understands not just simple one intent, but it's capable of understanding and managing several intents. For instance, no, thank you, this is too expensive for me. So the robot will understand first the offer refuse, and that's the first intent. The second, the reason why the customer refused. And that will allow to address the objection more precisely. So instead of just responding on a broad, giving a broad an answer, the robot will start working on the objection. Multi-language, during the conversation, you can communicate in several languages. But coming back to the human likeness, being interrupted without losing the logic of conversation, and most importantly, the low latency, which is the pause between question and answers, between the dialogue, between AI and the human. In our case, we're talking about roughly less than 700 milliseconds. And that's a tremendous, achievement in terms of low latency, because the lower is the latency, is the higher the feeling and convey the feeling that you're speaking with the human being or with human-like artificial intelligence. Our agents, they're capable of supporting complex conversation and simulate emotions and even show empathy. They can understand not just simple keywords, but also the context. Now with the introduction of ChatGPT, these abilities and capabilities have brought to brand new level. Before that, before ChatGPT, we were managing all this context and empathy integration, things throughout our own NLU, which had, of course, its own limitations. But now with large language models, BARD, ChatGPT, and numerous others, you're capable of providing brand new, unique customer experience, because you will speak not only within the particular script, but you can go beyond the script. Now I'm selling you a particular business plan or tariff or a credit card, whatever, or tickets. I'm selling, I got a sales on my air flights. And I got a script I have to run because they have a particular offer, which is actual and particular for this concrete case. And I manage this. But what if the customer asks something me above this context? No problem. I'll refer to the large language models and then manage different contexts. So all this together gives you this unique flavor and unique experience that any customer, subscriber thinks and believes that he or she is speaking with a human-like being. What that gives us in terms of numbers, we've been doing this with large telcos and banks and retail e-com companies across many markets. And I have to tell you, these are our facts. In terms of conversion to sales, when you do A/B testing, when you compare the sales conversion that is achieved by human being and operating the contact center and our human-like virtual agent, we exceed the conversion to sales 2 times higher than human operator. Sometimes people ask, but how is it possible that it can achieve such great results? It's very simple. Because no human being is capable of speaking in the same excited manner all the time. People get tired. People, get, frustrated. They're not in a mood. They're just simply lazy and they're simply tired. They most often, cut corners. They don't follow the script. Whereas the human-like operator, which is specially trained on the basis of, let's say, the champion of the call center, is capable of running, the sales without any hesitation, without any being tired or lazy whatsoever. 10 times faster call processing, 50% more, up to 50, sometimes in some cases even more than 50% savings in contact center costs. And now we're moving towards full automation, especially in inbound communication. 80% of regular contact center teams daily activity we automate. And of course, this human likeness provides us this unique flavor that only 1 out of 10 would recognize or realize they're speaking with AI. It's omnichannel solution, which means you can start conversation in the voice, and if you can go, we would like to proceed with the chatbot, or we would like to go further into any particular app, whatever. So it's omnichannel. You don't need to start over the conversation. Wherever you drop the conversation, we'll pick it up, in the next channel. Our own proprietary NLU engine, which provides, beautiful opportunities to create and manage different types of conversation and complex contexts, etc. Now, running out of time, so just quickly jump to the most important cases. We've been doing this for more than 5 years already, like I said, yeah. And we've been listening to how AI is speaking with humans for around 150 million minutes per year. That's quite a big amount of traffic. And you analyze all this enormous traffic in different industries, in different areas, and then you realize you gain your unique insights. What makes your particular product, service, or technology better? Because you realize, because you have your proprietary traffic, you listen how people are speaking with your solutions, and then you figure out what is the real demand. What is the real challenge? What is the real pain? And based on that insights and findings, we've created unique unique solutions like mobile personal assistants. I mean, we know the voicemails. If you're out of coverage or you're offline, whatever, you go to the voicemail. We replace the voicemail with the mobile personal assistants. You give a call. If I'm the subscriber, I'm presenting you. If somebody calls me now, my MPA will pick up the phone and will continue speaking without me, and it'll be a regular conversation. May I ask who is calling? Like my personal assistant. And the whole transcription of conversation later will be sent to my Telegram or to my mobile application. I will see who called me while I was presenting and what was the subject and the key appointments, etc. That is also a great tool in terms of spam protection for those markets where they got numbers of spam calls, because MPA also provides unique revenue stream opportunity for telcos as it increases the overall interconnect traffic. Not to say it provides unique customer experience, because people say, well, it's perfect. Now I don't need to bother picking up any random call or that which might be a spam call or a scammer, whatever. My MPA will manage that for me. So where we have this success story with MPA, we said, why don't we go further? What if we give it a new format, which is, let's create a digital human. And that was our first case. We added XR solution to our conversational AI solution and created the first in the world effective human-like digital twin, which is a combination of two technologies, HRXR plus the conversation AI. What makes this unique is that we don't need to download any application on your mobile. All you have to do is just simply point your camera on a QR code, which is, let's say, printed in a point of sale, in your retail, or in a box, whatever. Or if you receive an email communication, or if you receive a link via SMS, you click on the link, and immediately in the browser of your device, you will have this kind of person. Let me run this short video.
I'd like to play a game with you. If you win, you will get a pass to a world of wonders. Shall we play?
Sure, try me.
Lovely. Here's the first riddle. In this movie, my fellow artificial intelligence, but tougher looking than me, a real muscular guy, took away all the clothes and a motorcycle from a biker. Can you name this movie?
Is there a hint you can give me?
The guy who played the leading role in this movie was the former governor of California.
Oh, okay, Schwarzenegger. Okay, that's Terminator.
Well, not too bad. Here is another one for you. In this movie, everybody was laughing and bullying this young boy from Alabama who had an IQ of 75, had leg braces, and was speaking very funny.
Oh, that's an easy one. Run, Forrest, run. That's Forrest Gump.
Wow, you're an expert. This is impressive. Here is the last one. One of the famous fans of this series is Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II.
Would that be The Crown?
Maybe a hint.
Yes, give me one.
The article I'm talking about is An Iron Throne.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
3 out of 3. Awesome. Do you like movies?
I sure do.
That is great. Then I'm sure you will like your prize. A 2-month free subscription to Pathé. Do you have any questions for me?
What would be the price after the free subscription?
Just 29.50 euros per month. But the next 2 months are free. You can unsubscribe at any moment. But I am sure you will love it.
Well, that's an actual example of AR man, augmented reality man. It can do anything which is appropriate and makes sense in terms of customer interaction, onboarding, customer service, etc. When you go to the point of sales, there is a big line, and you don't have a time to wait for it. You don't want to take any tickets to wait until somebody is free. So all you have to do is just point it on on a QR code, or if you're part of this retailer, I mean, you click on it, you click on your app, and activate the digital twin, and it can provide you services which are also managed in the particular point of sale or retailer. So anything that human being is doing in point of sales, the same augmented reality man can do. On top of that, it is available 24/7. And by the way, you don't even need to go to the point of sale to speak to the digital twin. People say, but it is pretty much the same that you do when you implement conversation AI. It is, but with AR and XR technologies, we do the customer experience and management of customer experience more inclusive. And we've been running different pilots and tests and checked many hypotheses. And we got these projects up and running with different customers across the globe. We see the beautiful reaction of people on a digital twin. Not only that it speaks like a human being, you can interrupt him, no, I'm not interested in this, and let's jump on another subject. But being able to see it on your arm length distance and communicate like with human being, that gives a totally different customer experience. we've noticed that the level of so-called sincerity of conversation is tremendous. Because when we speak to a call center person or contact center, doesn't matter, but human being, we're limited. Yeah, we may freak out. We may say something really badly, especially when we're in a bad mood. And poor guys in the call center, they have to tolerate all this stuff. But we also notice that when a person is speaking with AI, especially with augmented AI, they transform their frustration. It changes because for them it's a wow effect. They said, and they start speaking and flirting, making jokes with this, with this AR man, because for them it's an opponent, it's a counterpart that will listen to you very carefully. It will never judge you. It will never estimate or evaluate what you say. It will never criticize you. It will just talk to you like a human being, but as your friend. So this is unique flavor that we've put in a mobile app or a device, but we also decided, why should we limit the AR one only with the mobile app? We also went further and integrated this on a website. And that was well before the implementation of integration of ChatGPT. We've created our first, by the way, first in the world, integrated personal assistant on a website. So instead of just scrolling or browsing or typing in a spotlight bar what you're looking for on a website, you just simply click on the ball in the right or left corner of your website, and the virtual agent activates, and it starts speaking with you, and helps you in terms of navigation on a website, in terms of describing the product, etc. I've actually, sampled, but unfortunately it's in Russian. It doesn't make much sense to show it how it works, in reality. But you may want to go to our website, nero.net/English, and try to speak with that agent. Currently, we're now updating the script because now we're in the middle of integration with other LLM models, so that it's capable not only speaking about our company subject matters, but also able to go beyond that. But digital twins, we take the best of conversational AI, everything that we've gained from working for banks, telcos, retail e-com, inbound and outbound communication, when you manage different types of solution, when you manage different types of claims and experience. So we took all this unique expertise, created different types of approaches in terms of managing the conversation, add on top of this XR AR solution, and in some cases also the VR solution. We also create several offices in different metaverses, and just simple, the technology is pretty simple and works the same way. Integration of a conversation AI with NPC, non-playable character, in different metaverses, in Decentraland in particular. So you combine this and provide this new experience to a customer. But we decided to go further. If I can create digital twin, this is a product not only for telcos, retail e-com, etc., although they are the first adopters, but we decided to go further because this is a beautiful product in terms of creator economy of influencers, podcasters, brand ambassadors, and bloggers, because they're also running out of their capacity and they want to monetize more. So we give them a solution. We give them an opportunity to create their own digital twin that is capable of running reels, the online sessions, speaking on behalf of its master. By the way, we also provide the technology of voice cloning, that the digital twin can speak in the voice of its master, which is now not a unique solution, but there's a number of solutions now available in the market. So in terms of human likeness, we bring it on a brand new level. But we provide this solution for creators because all the key markets, especially in US and the rest of the world, key brands, marketing budgets, now are focusing on new formats. They've been doing this for a long time, but now with these technologies available, they're now focusing on more because they realize that the creators are the key audience or the key channels to interact with their particular audience. And now we create this solution for them. Digital twin, speaking on behalf of the ambassador, influencer, etc., expanding the capacity of the master, and providing new format and new way of monetizing. Well, that was it, quite briefly, and didn't have time to go through other solutions because we integrate also the conversation with particular products. With the cars, for instance, we call it product AI, which is a next level of Internet of Things. Now you allow the product to speak on its behalf. Like if you go to store, I mean, you speak with the gadget. Instead of just asking the product manager, you speak with the gadget with itself. Tell me more about your opportunities, your shortcomings, your great adventures, etc. Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for your attention, and please let me know if any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. We actually do have a question. Dim, you had a question.
Yes, thank you. My question is about the caller client. So is it possible now to set up the client to fill a certain form out of the context that a customer gave you? For instance, you need to fill 3 fields like address, driver license, and maybe your age. And a client, when he talk with the caller agent, he may provide this information from his context. Is it possible to set up the caller client so that it will fill all of the required fields out of the context without bothering client with questions that client already provide the information? So if the client provided his age during the conversation, the caller will not ask about the age again. So is it possible right now or not?
Of course, it's been possible since a long time. It's one of the very trivial and simple things. That would require certain integration with the customer CRM system or ERP systems. And we have, especially with telcos, for instance, with one of the telcos, with all this integration, and also with the banks, especially with the banks, when we do the pre-qualification of the future borrower, we have this solution up and running. But moreover, not only I can fill in the form, which is, not a big deal at all, but I can even follow up on that. Based on your previous history, I can choose particular approach or particular product or services, which I believe most relevant to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Arman, for your time and for a really interesting presentation. I didn't know about some of the things you were discussing. That was really interesting and really useful.